Aloha. Good evening. This is Andrea Aloha live out of Flagstaff, Arizona with Spiritual Image Productions on my computer. I've I keep working with different formats, venues, and I finally decided, whoa, my computer has a video recorder on it. I'll just use that. Why not? I don't have to think about any idiot or jerk off cutting me off or screwing in my video or whatever, right? It's with Facebook, YouTube, and OBS Studio. It's like what a pain in the ass. So and I got one here on my computer. I can just use that. It does just as good a job, or maybe even better. I don't know. But anyhow, the other thing I want to bitch about is it's beyond me. You know, the people, the House, the representatives, the people in the White House. They disgust me. It's beyond me that they can leave people hanging for Christmas, and they don't give a shit. They got plenty of money that they're making, that they have. Who cares? A good leader always takes care of the people. All of them, even the weakest member of their community, they take care of them. And is that what these people are doing? No. Do they give a shit? No. It's beyond me that they can even be so belligerent. They finally come to a package deal that everybody can agree upon, and then Trump says no. And is that part of the plan? Are they maliciously playing that game just so nobody will get money, or does Trump genuinely, authentically really want people to get $2,000 in stimulus payments right away? So, my trust, my faith in the system is about that high, right? So I don't know what the answer is, but I guarantee you these people, I don't care who they think they are. I don't care how much power they think they have. No power is more than God's power, Goddess's power. No one has more power than God. Not on this planet. Not one person. And so, to think that any of these people believe that they're beyond the universe, that they're beyond God, keep thinking that far and see how far that gets you. Because your karma is coming to you. I promise you. I don't make promises either. I promise you. Your karma is coming to you. Sooner or later. This lifetime or next. It's coming to you. You're going to have to deal with your shit. And you're probably going to not like it. But that's besides the point. So anyhow, now, it's Christmas Eve, and the biggest reason I really want to do, and am doing this, is because a lot of the reviews that I have to offer you are Christmas movies. A lot of the movies are Christmas, so you can go through the list on your own if you want and find a movie and that you might like, or you just let me do the review, and if you like the idea of watching the movie based upon my review, then have at it. A lot of these movies are on Netflix. Some of them are on Amazon Prime Video is what I watch them through, and so forth. I think maybe one or two are from Redbox, and I can't remember if I don't think I bought any new movies, but that's besides the point. So anyhow, without further ado, I'm gonna get started. Now this movie, The Dissident, it comes out tomorrow. It's a really riveting, intense movie. It's actually more of a documentary than a regular movie, about the murder, and I do say murder because they have substantial uh, um, evidence to support that. Literally, they have um, scripts, transcripts for it. The everything taking place. Jamal, the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, and so literally the people in the consulate. This I don't know. I think it was in the Turkey consulate. Maybe it was the Saudi Arabia uh, consulate, but apparently, literally they got audio. I don't know if they have a video of it, but they definitely have an audio of it because you can hear um, these people putting a bag over him and suffocating him and literally murdering him and then cutting him up, literally taking him and cutting up his body into pieces, and then assumably they put him down a well, some well there nearby, and probably put some of that stuff on it so that it'll some acid on it so it'll disintegrate and all of a sudden he disappears into thin air. Amazing. Now the interesting thing um, is that Jamal was, I believe, working doing stories for the Washington Post and about Saudi Arabia and all the scandal and all the crime and all this crap that's going on over there, and the people in charge over there, the king and his brothers, I believe, um, didn't like it. So now they believe, and they got all this evidence, but it was interesting because I went in and I checked it for myself, and they're pointing the finger at Prince Mohammed bin Salman, being the one that had was pushing the button, the one that was pointing the finger, and having Jamal murdered. Now apparently Jamal was pretty heavy in with these people at one time, and then he said, "I'm getting out of this, man." He didn't like the scandals. He didn't like the bullshit. So he said, "I'm going to America," and that's what he did. He moved to Washington, and then he started working for the Washington Post, I believe. So anyhow, he ended up meeting a woman. I can't remember her name. I think it's around here. Hang on a second. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Hattie's genius, Sinji's. Anyhow, I don't. I apologize if I didn't pronounce your name correctly. But anyhow, the interesting thing is that he went back to Saudi Arabia or Turkey, because he wanted to get married to this woman. So he went to the consulate, and he had to get paperwork for that to happen. It's beyond me why he would do that. You know, do you really need paperwork to live with a woman, to be married with a woman? And then on top of that, you know, how do you define marriage? You know, marriage is personal. You know, it's the union of one or of two or more people or beings or animals for that matter. And it's not just a piece of paper, right? It's beyond just a piece of paper. And so anyhow, so he did. I don't think he had been back there to Turkey or Istanbul. I think it was in Istanbul where all this took place, and he hadn't been there back there for years. And then he wants to get married, and then he has to get paperwork. So he goes into the consulate and literally is murdered there inside there. Now the interesting thing is that, and while he went in there, his fiance had this. Um, she waited and waited and waited and waited, and then she called people saying, "Hey, Jamal's went in and he hasn't come out yet. He hadn't come out. She waited for him and this was what is an amazing story is that she waited for him. I think he went in there at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then she didn't come back out. She waited till 1 a.m. 1 o'clock in the morning before she finally went back to the hotel or whatever. So it was beyond me how patient she was. She was though she must have been freaking out, and either way, and he never came out. And so, man, the alarm went off, and this is about 2 years ago. The alarm went off, and wow, it was all over the place. And now this documentary, this movie is coming out tomorrow to as a final warning to people to either stay out of Saudi Arabia or don't deal with them. I think Jeff Bezos from Amazon, he was going to do some kind of a deal with this guy, and he said, "No way, I'm not doing this." He backed out of it, and all kinds of stuff has come about. And again, I've said this before. When you want to deal with a bully, the best way to do it is make it public, make their behavior public, and I guarantee you that asshole will change his attitude quick. And maybe he or she may not change their behavior that quickly, but I guarantee you they'll change their attitude real quick. So, but now the interesting thing is, again, they're pointing the finger at Prince Mohammed bin Salman, but when I went in, I talked with my guidance, and he, from what I understand, what I perceive, he's not the one that had the push the button. He's not the one that had Jamal murdered. It was, from what I understand, it's the king. I can't remember what's his. I had his name in here. Hang on, let me see if I can find it real quick. But the present king of Saudi Arabia is whom I understand was the one to have been murdered, because apparently Jamal, he wouldn't shut up. They didn't in America we have free speech. It's like, I get it. I get a lot of times I'll talk to a company, and they go, "Oh, we don't want you cussing. You shouldn't cuss. So if you don't stop cussing, I'm gonna hang up." Well, hang up. I don't give a shit. I was in the Air Force for 4 years. I fought for my freedom of speech, and I fought for yours on top of that. The freedom of speech is a right in the United States, period. It's one of our amendments, one of our rights. And people bitch about cussing, and what, are you my babysitter? Are you my mother? Are you my dad? Are you my parent? Are you my wife? No, you're not. So unless I'm actually attacking you with cuss words, then who gives a shit, right? Unless I'm telling you to fuck off, then it doesn't matter. Free speech, freedom of speech is a right that every American has, whether you like it or not, period. And again, if you don't like it, move to some other country. Go to some other country where they don't have freedom of speech. And they'll cut your throat if you tell the king of Saudi Arabia to fuck off. They'll cut your throat. They'll kill you right there on the spot. So if you don't like our freedom of speech, then move to some other country. Period. And if that's not good enough, then join the military and fight for your freedom of speech, like I already have. And again, like I've already fought for yours too as well. So people don't like cussing, then move. Period. So anyhow, this guy, um, the I can't remember what his name is. Salman. It's the same last name because he's the brother of this Muhammad guy. But he he's the one that I believe, that I understand. Again, the present king of Saudi Arabia was, whom I believe was the one that had Jamal murdered. So, if you listen to this, whoever you are, again, I already said it earlier, your karma will be coming back to you, I promise you. You may not like it, but deal with it. That's just the way it is. Period. So moving on, you know, it was a very intense movie. Again, it's coming out tomorrow, Christmas Day. And if you haven't watched it, if you don't watch this movie, or you haven't watched it already, then I definitely recommend that you get an earful, an eyeful of some real scandal, right? It's like that. The next movie, oh shoot. I don't want to do this because right now I'm operating my video without my internet. So anyhow, the next movie that I watched was that I want to review is the Christmas Chronicles. There's two of them, and they're both on Netflix right now. And incidentally, Netflix, I can't believe you. I put together a video for one of your movies, and then you go and bitch, moan, and groan to YouTube about it, so that they pull the video. What a bunch of cutthroat pieces of shit. Right, exactly. So anyhow, Netflix went ahead and has Christmas Chronicles 1 and 2 out. And the one Christmas Chronicles 2 just came out what about 2 weeks ago or something like that. But the first one, and this is with oh, and by the way, this that documentary, of course, has Jamal Khashoggi in it. Also had his Sengiz or Genius. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce, but anyhow, of course she was in it. And Omar Abdul Aziz, he's like a good buddy of Jamal. And then Agnes Calamard, who is an investigator. I want to say, I'm not sure if she's a journalist, but she works for the United Nations. So she was called upon to go investigate this case, and she got a lot. I don't know if she's the one that got all the evidence put together, but she got a lot of it, and I don't think the United Nations is too happy about this. Again, it's coming out tomorrow. The Christmas Chronicle 2 just came out a couple of weeks ago or so, and this also Christmas Chronicles 1 came out in 2 years ago in 2018. If I was you, they're both on Netflix, and if you want to watch these, this is a really good movie for Kurt Russell, and Goldie Hawn is in it, along with Darby Camp, Judah Lewis, Kimberly Williams Paisley, and then Lamorne Morris. And then they were in the old one, the 2018 one, and then all of them are in the new one as well. But let me see, Darby, Jazir Bruno, and then Julian Dennison, and Tyrese Gibson, and are also in the new one. But these kids, you know, they're teenagers. The mom, who is here, hang on, let me get rid of that. The mom, Kimberly Williams Paisley, you know, she's a single mom, and I think this takes place in the East somewhere. I can't remember where. This is location. But anyhow, she tells him, this is Christmas Eve, and she has to work on Christmas Eve or something like that. And the kids, and the little girl, Darby, I think her name is Darby. Yeah, Darby. She goes to her brother, and her brother is getting. I think his name is uh, Judah Lewis, and he's starting to get into trouble, and his sister Darby goes, well, stay home and take care of me, and let's eat popcorn and do all the Christmas stuff we used to do all the time, because apparently the dad died or something. I can't remember what. But anyhow, so he goes, okay, so, and she goes, well, let's set up a trap for Christmas. I mean, for Santa Claus, and see if we can catch him. So they do. They set up all these little bells and all this stuff, and she puts out some crackers, and I mean some cookies and some milk for him, right? So he does. He shows up, right? Kurt Russell, right? And again, this is a really good part for him. So he shows up, goes and gets his snacks and his milk, and leaves the presents, and then gets back in the sleigh, right? Now, the interesting thing about these movies, that the special effects in them are really, really well done. Whoever did the special effects and the creation of them did a nice job of it. But anyhow, so the little girl goes up, and they chase him down, right? And they jump into the sleigh. So they take off. Of course, they take off. They're gonna deliver some more presents, and somehow Kurt Russell turns around, and the little girl just goes, ah! And he freaks out, and then somehow the sleigh ends up crashing, right? Crashing and burning. So anyhow, they're stuck in New York, I think, or something like that, and Santa Claus gets arrested, right? So he ends up doing some kind of blues music in there. Elvis Presley, I think it was an Elvis Presley song. So anyhow, they and then the interesting thing is that they go to all these different places, and even the cops. Hey, William, I remember when you were a little kid, you wanted the I don't know, the soldier toy or whatever. He knows everything that all the gifts that they wanted for Christmas, and he knows their names, and no matter where they go, he knows all of these people, right? And they're going, how do you know that, right? They're like, well, what the hell? And so anyhow, they finally get the sleigh back up and going. They somehow get message to the elves, and the elves come in and they fix the sleigh, and then they take off and they save the day. They save Christmas, right, for 2018, and then for the 2020, it's a whole different story, and it's this time most of the setting takes place at the North Pole and in Christmas Land, or whatever it's called, right? So apparently one of the elves gets jealous. It's a power trip thing, and so he takes off and he learns how to do a lot of the tricks that Santa does. So he starts causing all these problems. In the meantime, the little girl Darby again, her and this other little boy, Tyrese Gibson. I think that's no, it's not him. I take it back. I think it was Julian Dennison, who's her mother is involved with Tyrese Gibson, and his son is Julian. So they're in Mexico, I believe they're in Mexico, and they're vacationing for Christmas, and Darby's like, oh, I'm not having fun. So she runs away, and then this other jealous guy, Jazir Bruno, the elf, the jealous elf, ends up, he goes and kidnaps her, more or less, and then the brother Julian ends up sneaking in, and so now he's got two kidnapped kids instead. So they go to the North Pole, and he tries to take over the North Pole, and part of it is that the power for for Santa Claus Land or whatever it's called, comes from the star, the bright star, right? And they have it on top of this big Christmas tree or something. I can't remember what it is, but it's at the very top of this thing, and that's where the North Pole power is coming from, and that's how they're able to operate the sleigh and fly and all this, and then Kurt Russell's got this little ball that shows the inspiration for Christmas, the spirit of Christmas, and sometimes high, sometimes low. So anyhow, all of a sudden, because they somehow, the guy, the jealous elf, steals the star, and that turns off all the power, and so now they got to go and make another. Oh no, they get in a fight. I take it back. They get in a fight, and the star breaks. It falls and it breaks, and then all of a sudden all the power's gone. And everything, and they're going, oh yeah, Christmas is gone. We're not gonna have Christmas this year. But Santa already knows. He knows where to go to get a new star made. So he goes to another elf community. I want to say Las Vegas, but it definitely wasn't Las Vegas. But anyhow, Australia or I don't know, some other country. So they go and travel over there, and him and I think Darby go, and then Julian stays there with Goldie Hawn, Miss Santa Claus, right? The Mrs. And he has to go and get some kind of a herb that will because one of the reindeers is hurt, got zapped by some kind of laser or something, I don't know, but they got hurt, so they need to go get this herb to heal the reindeer. So Miss Santa Claus Goldie Hawn gives him some cookies, right? Some gingerbread cookies, right? Some Christmas cookies. She goes, these cookies are made. This one's for courage. This one's for blah blah blah, blah, all this stuff. So he can go and get some of the herb and then come back. So he goes and gets the herb and then comes back and they heal the reindeer. In the meantime, they get a new star made, and they bring it back, and then finally they get everything up and going, and then Christmas is saved. So anyhow, it was fun, good for the family, funny, intense. I mean, it was just really interesting. Now the next it's not a movie, it's actually a concert by Andrea Bocelli, both something. But anyhow, really good concert. Oh wow, it was done in Italy, and you could watch it live on YouTube. And I don't know that they actually put the video out, or they're selling it or anything, because I haven't seen it anywhere. But they have a trailer for it, but I didn't see the actual concert. It may be sold on DVD. I'm not sure, but I haven't found it yet. So anyhow, really good concert, awesome concert. And I don't know if that was his little girl. There was a little girl with him, and she was like, it was really well done. It took place in a huge, I think it was in Italy, in a big theater, I want to say, it was like one of those old theaters, like in a castle type of thing or something like that. But it was just really well done. Some great Christmas music. And the little girl just guided him along. I think she sang a couple of numbers as well along with them, and just a lot of amazing stuff. So I don't know if you'll get a chance to, and I'm sure they'll sell it on DVD or something eventually, sooner or later. But if you get a chance, it's just amazing, awesome concert. So, and of course, Andre with his incredible voice, amazing songs that he just put out there and belted out. So awesome concert. Now this Hillbilly, Hillbilly Elegy, with, and this came out this year as well. All these movies so far that I'm talking about have come out this year, with Amy Adams, Glenn Close, Gabriel Basso, Haley Bennett, Frida Pinto. It was based on a true story, and it was directed by oh man, why can't I remember this guy's name? Um, I don't want to put on the internet because some idiot might go in there and turn off my video or something. I don't know. Earlier I was playing around with it and it got turned off, so I don't know if somebody had can't got into my computer, but I the guy from Happy Days, I don't know why I can't remember his name, but anyhow, um, I this movie actually got some negative reviews, which is a lot of shit, and it was just, and maybe just some people that were trying to conspire against the director. I don't. I'll remember it sooner or later. But anyhow, but I thought it was well done, and it just really, about this woman and her kid, who eventually, I believe at the end, he became a lawyer, if I remember right, and he went, they went through all kinds of shit. She was an what you call it, alcoholic or drug addict or something like that. And I don't think she went in. She went in and out of prison. Maybe she went to jail for a few days or something like that for being drunk or for in public or something. I don't know what, but you know, and what it is that this is about three generations of family enduring the 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 chaos and the drama that they lived through all these years, and it's like it's I can't remember Bradshaw, like I can't remember what his name, but a guy by the last name of Bradshaw, I believe is his last name, wrote some books on toxic shame, and he talks about this where families are silenced. Over the years they've been silenced. There's all kinds of shame, all kinds of rape, all kinds of alcoholism, drug addiction, all kinds of shit going on in their family, and nobody will talk about it. And for generations, it keeps going. It keeps repeating over and over again. And finally, this boy, this kid, breaks the pattern. His grandma, which is Amy Adams' mom, and Amy Adams, their lifestyles just weren't. And this is back in the hillbilly land, right? Type of thing. And that's just the way it was. That's just how they lived, because they didn't know any better. They just weren't educated, and they didn't understand better, and so that's just the way it was. And so they just lived that lifestyle. They just and the thing is, I want to say they dealt with it, but they didn't. They ignored it. They just kept quiet about it. And then finally, this boy who gets bullied around, and all this stuff happens, it's as real as it gets. And so eventually, I think the grandma finally dies at the end, and he goes on to become a lawyer, I believe, and I think his mom, is I don't know if she's put into a home or something like that, but anyhow, the ending was not the best ending. Like, we win, we finally are champion of this or that, but they finally get to a place that's tolerable, that's livable, and it doesn't involve a lot of drama, a lot of drugs or alcohol or whatever. So they're able to at least cope, and I think that's the bottom line, is that they get to a level of being able to cope in a good, healthy way, rather than a toxic way. and that was the transition, that transformation that took place in the movie, and it was really well done. Some of the parts maybe are a little bit hard to watch because you don't want to see people going through that kind of pain, but it is what it is. So I I I I, I enjoyed that movie. I think it was well worth watching if you're into that stuff or whatever. So it's like that. Now, my next guest needs no introduction with Robert Downey Jr. Now, David Letterman, he stopped doing his show years ago on NBC, CBS, I can't remember which one, the David Letterman show, whatever. But then he started doing his own show, um, and the first one I'll be talking about two of them. One with he interviewed